Wow, it's been a long day. Yeah. So we're here. You see, I believe you've watched the episode I did where a young lady ran in desperately seeking for help because the wedding they had fixed was about to be cancelled because of a few discoveries that were made. So I am practically here to talk to all the unmarried people who are in relationship that had broken up. And truth be told, it's good that you get married. But my greatest desire is that you stay married. And staying married is a choice. Staying married is a choice. But that choice must be founded on wisdom. I felt that after speaking to that lady, I needed to do a complete new episode dealing with this matter. Broken heart. Hearts that are broken as a result of failed relationships. So I'm going to be very specific. You see, marriage is honorable. That's what scripture says, and the bed undefiled. But premarital understanding and wisdom is something that you must never toy with. Send this video everywhere, literally, because our world is breaking apart. And I'm passionate about what I'm saying right now. The end of the world is not that your relationship is broken down. The end of the world is compromising the standards to a place that you close blind eyes to the things that you should give attention to. I recently put it on my Facebook wall that it's best to have a failed relationship rather than have a failed marriage. And I said it specifically that most young people use courtship for marriage and then use marriage for courtship. What do I mean? Like the young lady that came and I told her, slow down, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry, please. Why? Because whatever you close blind eyes on will be magnified in your marriage. And so if you're listening, watching me right now, if you're watching me right now and you had a failed relationship, maybe serial failed relationship, it's not over. Thank God it failed. Nobody ever fails an exam and withdraws from a school. No. You'll be given another opportunity to rewrite. And in rewriting, you go and do, you learn all over again because you are given an opportunity. So if you are watching me right now and your relationship had failed, number one thing, don't kill yourself because of your failed relationship. Number two, don't take the blame all by yourself. Number three, know that if you are a Christian, all things together work for good. Number four, come to the place that you realize that the best is not behind, but your best is ahead of you. Number five, look at those things that opened you up. There would have been compromises along the way. You could have bent backward just because you didn't want them to say, oh, this one too has failed. And then going on, the next point is, when you are in a relationship, set healthy boundaries. Establish what you want to see in the future. Amos chapter 3 verse 3, the Bible says, can two work together except they be agreed? The mistake most unmarried people make is the euphoria of I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. The in-love syndrome is one of the greatest destructive tendencies. Don't be in love to the point that you close blind eyes to the things you were supposed to talk about. In relationship, don't give sex first. Don't. Sex is not a part of relationship. If it were sex alone that kept marriage, no marriage will be divorced, because in sex you are given 24/7, opportunity to be intimate with your spouse. So what is important? Don't drop your underwears. Sit down and speak exhaustively on things that will make for the peace of that relationship and ultimately marriage. Discuss finances. What if one person loses his or her job along the line and finances becomes a challenge? How will you deal with it? Number two, make sure that you work earnestly at building trust, because trust is a fundamental element for any successful marriage. Trust is not given to anybody. Trust is earned. And so you can't be in a relationship and be hiding to answer phone, be passwording everything. What are you hiding? I know that there are even counselors that will tell you, oh, your private matter is your private matter. But you know what? Relationship is not friendship. You may be dating. The relationship is when a man has made a proposal to a woman. And then the woman comes to say, I agree. Now let's begin the journey. You don't marry immediately. You don't do that. You now begin to engage. When once there is acceptance of proposal, the next thing to do is engaging the minds to know where you two are operating from. That is when you talk about finances, like I mentioned. That is when you discuss sex. That is when you discuss in-laws. That is when you discuss on friends. That is when you discuss on your career and aspirations. That is when you discuss on social media handling. That is when you discuss on children's upbringing. That is when you discuss on literally everything you could think about. Most people are just, take me out here, let's go and eat. See, food is not your problem. Your problem is lack of knowledge. And so most people only engage themselves in sex. So they use courtship and relationship to enjoy the benefit of marriage, only to enter into marriage. And then the sex they withhold from themselves because the challenges are too many. And they now realize that it wasn't sex they would have given attention to at the beginning. It would have been what will make for peace. And I tell young people, before you marry, do a proper appraisal of the family you are coming from. Because you know what? Abraham in Genesis chapter 12 was an amazing man. God said, take a journey out of your people, from your people. Leave your father, leave your kindred, leave your nation. Go to a place I'll tell you. Not many people in this generation will obey God like that. Why will you tell me to go to where you have not mentioned? I won't obey you like that. Tell me the destination, I'll move. But Abraham dared to trust God, even when God did not give him specific of where he was going to. But that same man that obeyed God in that respect did not know that in his bloodline there was delayed pregnancy and deception. So you may be the most powerful man of God or woman of God, but I tell you the truth is that the demons of your father's house, they are waiting for you if you are not willing to do something. So Abraham was dealing with deception. They asked, who is your wife? He said, my wife is my sister. It was a lie. Abimelech was paid just because God loved him and he was an innocent man. Then you discover that it took Abraham 25 years to get pregnant with his wife, to have a baby. So Isaac wasn't even born when Abraham lied. But when Isaac came on the scene, he repeated the same lies verbatim. They asked him, who is Rebecca? He said, it's my sister. So the deception that was in their bloodline was now, he had progressed to Isaac's bloodline. By the time Jacob came, Jacob had doctorate degrees in telling lies. Because what your father didn't deal with, you will deal with it, except you are intentional at dealing with those things. There are some of you watching me right now. In your bloodline, there is divorce. In your bloodline, there is hypertension. In your bloodline, there is wickedness. In your bloodline, there are so many negative things. I am not coming to scare you. I'm only telling you that wisdom is the principal thing. When you know who your real enemy is, you prepare ahead of time. You put your arsenal together and come to a place where you will know exactly what is right. So, what am I saying here? Please, the broken relationship is not the issue. Now go back and fix yourself. Moses was a fantastic man, but Moses had anger in his bloodline. There are men who married. I recently, counseled a young man who said, Mommy, I had listened to you for several years. I never thought I would have a problem in my marriage. And what was the problem? He gets angry very easily and he's been hitting the wife. And he said, Mommy, I feel ashamed. So that lady's problem wasn't meeting the man in that situation that was not palatable. The issue was that what was driving the man could not leave the man, because they were not contracted. You realize, I asked her, you've given your whole body, not only money, he had given sex. And so you are listening. Don't give sex before marriage. I know I sound like an old cling, because in this generation, sex is the number one thing. But ask yourself, if you are coming from a broken home, is it that your mother didn't give your father sex? There is more to marriage than sex. Broken relationship is good for you to call yourself to order and do a proper appraisal of what has been going wrong. Now redefine your life's goal. Redefine your vision. So this is where I'm coming to. I want your marriage to last. Because you were abandoned and your dreams were broken, and that wedding couldn't hold, it's not the end of your story. I tell you the truth, if you can listen to the voice of God and do the right thing, Put yourself back to order. Set healthy boundaries. Redefine yourself. Get your identity sorted out. Pursue your vision. Mostly for the women, pursue your vision. Don't just wait for a man to come and liberate you through marriage. Seek to discover what you live for. I repeat this again. Nobody wants a liability. Everybody wants an asset. And when you finally become an asset, don't think that everybody that comes to you really appreciates you for who you are. Some of them may just come to take advantage of you. Be careful. And you couldn't do anything better than seeking the face of God, seeking counsel, and spending a little time understanding whoever you are dating. Spend a little time understanding so that you will be convinced you did the best you could do. My prayer is that your generation will be better, because when your relationship or your marriage fails, your children suffer for it. I don't want your children suffering. And for every one of you who is depressed right now and feeling suicidal because your relationships have been breaking, I speak restoration back to you. Because it got broken doesn't mean it's over. Baby, pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. Young man, pick yourself up. Improve on yourself. Improve on your relationship with God. There is a God that will restore you far more than you had lost, because He's a God that is interested in your life and your future. Don't think that it is over. The best is still coming. And as I'm saying this, God can. Some people say that it is only one person that is cared for you. So if you lose that one person, it's over. It's a myth. It's not true. A better person will come. Prepare yourself for that better person. Because I want to be proud of who you become. Whether I see you physically or not. God bless you. Love you so much. God increase you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for staying with us for another episode of Time with Mama Cathy. You can expect us on your screens every Tuesday and Friday. If you like this and want to see more of Mama Cathy, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Until next time, always remember that it will end in glory.
Follow me on Facebook, Mama Cathy. Instagram, Mama Cathy. YouTube, Time with Mama Cathy. And you certainly, believe me, that you can be on top of the world.
Thank you.